Today on our 2018 Kia Niro, you're going to be taking a look at, I'm going to show you how to install the Curt Class III Trailer Hitch Receiver, part number C13329. This is what our hitch looks like when it's installed. The cross tube is completely hidden behind the bumper fascia. The only thing we can see is the receiver tube. Receiver tube is nice and tucked in underneath the outer edge of the bumper fascia, so we're not going to worry about hitting our legs or our shins on it when we're loading and unloading the back of the vehicle. It's going to be a Class 3 hitch, 2" by 2". You can see we have a nice reinforced collar to give us a little extra stability on our receiver tube. Hitch pin hole is going to be 5/8 inch in diameter. Now our hitch pin and clip does not come with this hitch, however you can find one here at etrailer.com. We're going to have rolled steel style safety chain loops. You can see it gives us plenty of room for different size hooks. This hitch is also going to have a nice black powder coat finish that's really going to resist any rust or corrosion. As far as our weight capacities go, we're going to have a 525-pound max tongue weight, which is a downward pressure on the inside of the receiver tube, and a 3,500-pound max trailer weight, which is a trailer plus load included. I do recommend checking the owner's manual of your Kia to make sure the vehicle can withstand that amount of weight. You want to pick the lowest number between the vehicle and the hitch. As far as the installation goes with this hitch, it's very simple. I do recommend getting an extra set of hands to help hold the hitch into place. Now let's give you a few measurements to help you when deciding on any hitch mount accessories you may need, such as a bike rack, ball mount, or cargo carrier. From the center of the hitch pin hole to the outermost part of the bumper, it's going to be about 5 inches. This number is important for any of your hitch mount accessories that may fold up against your vehicle. From the ground to the top innermost part of your receiver tube, it's going to be about 11 inches. Now it's a good idea to get a raised shank for better ground clearance. Now let's show you how to get this installed. First thing we need to do to start our installation is we're going to skip a few steps ahead in our instructions. We're going to have a panel right here on our driver's side that's going to need to be trimmed. What I'm going to do is I'm going to mark it while it's installed on here. Take a paint marker or any colored marker, and you can kind of see where it bends. I'm going to go just like this. Now we're going to have 3 plastic pushpin fasteners here on the bottom and 2 plastic nuts up on the inside, the bottom of the frame rail. Take a trim panel tool. We're going to pry out the pushpin fasteners like that. Go ahead and set this aside so we can trim it later on. Next, on our passenger side, and it's not going to tell you this in the instructions, however, it's going to make it much easier to tighten your hardware. If you take this panel off also, it's going to come off the same way. A couple pushpin fasteners. And you're going to have a plastic nut right up here. Now we'll take a strap. What I like to do is hang it from my springs because they're pretty easily accessible. We'll go underneath our exhaust pipe, pull it up tight. We'll take some spray lubricant and we're going to spray down our exhaust hangers. We're going to have 3 of them that we're going to need to remove. We'll have 1 there. We'll have 1 on this side. And we're going to have 1 right here in the center, right in front of the rear axle. Now we'll take a pry bar. I'm just going to pry off the exhaust hangers. We'll do the same thing with the other 2. Once you get your exhaust hangers off, go ahead. You can lower your exhaust a little bit. Next, we'll take our trim panel tool. We're going to have a rubber plug on each frame rail. Go ahead and remove that. These will not be reinstalled. Take your pull wire, spacer block, carriage bolt. We're going to thread the carriage bolt onto the spacer block or onto the pull wire. We're going to do a reverse pull. So we're going to take the head of the bolt and we're going to slide it right up to that hole where we removed our rubber plug. Slide up your spacer block and just pull it back down like that. Now with an extra set of hands, we're going to pull wire in the corresponding hole, which on the bottom of our hitch, we're actually going to have 3 holes. We're going to go into the center one. Push it up into place. remove your pull wire. You're going to put on a flange nut. We'll get one of these on each side to hold our hitch in place while we install our remaining hardware. Next, we're going to have 2 hex bolts for each frame rail. You're going to put on a common tooth washer. You want to make sure that the teeth are facing towards the hitch. They're going to go right on the outside of our frame rail into the factory weld nuts. Again, we're going to have 2 of these for each side of the vehicle. Next, with an 11/16 socket, we're going to tighten and torque all of our hardware to the specifications in the instructions. Before we put our exhaust back up, we're going to have a guard right here we're going to need to remove. We're going to have 2 bolts on each side. Use a 12mm socket. We'll go ahead and remove that. It will not be reinstalled. Now we can reinstall our exhaust. Then you can remove your strap. Now we can go ahead and install our passenger side panel. We'll take a Dremel tool with a cutting blade. We're going to cut it off where we had it marked. Once we get it cut, take a blade, just run it right across the edge, and it'll cut off the burrs. Just kind of cleaned up a little bit. So what I'm finding is this edge right here is hitting this lip. I'm going to put it up. You'll see. And it's not allowing me to push this back to the same spot. So I'm going to actually trim that off a little bit. I'm going to trim it off about like this. And you can see, now we can go ahead and reinstall our panel. That'll do it for a look at and installation of the Curt Class III Trailer Hitch Receiver, part number C13329 on our 2018 Kia Niro.